Well, I will say this. First of all, and I said this in March, it's great to have two great New York teams, and we're both going to be great this year. And we were great teams last year, just didn't work out for different reasons. But I just think it's great for the city and great for the fans. I was joking with somebody previously that 10 years ago you'd always hear me say you shouldn't have to have a $200 million payroll to win a championship. Well, I've modified that slightly to you shouldn't have to have a $300 million payroll to win a championship, because most teams don't. The Astros didn't. I think it's something. I think it's something to be looked at. Another thing I said in March, which I truly believe, is every fan of every team, nobody should have to go to spring training thinking their team has no chance of making the playoffs. I mean, that's just not good for the game, and that's why all the owners have worked on competitive balance the last 10 years, and why I think competitive balance is considerably better than it was 10 or 15 years ago, if you look at the teams that are in the playoffs or that win their divisions. So the Mets are what the Mets are now, but for years we were compared with the Dodgers because they always had really high payrolls. I mean, look how many World Series they've won the last 15 years. One. As have we. So, it's always our goal to put on the field a championship caliber team, and then it's up to the players to produce and execute and try to stay healthy. Always a huge thing. And but no, that's our mantra. But I will say, people asked me about last season, was it a failure to win a World Series? It's not a failure to win the division. It's not a failure to win 99 games. It's not a failure to do what we did the first three and a half months of the season. But we did fail in reaching what our ultimate goal is every year, which is to win a championship. Yeah.
I mean, obviously they're aggressively putting together a team like we're typically doing on a year out basis, and you can't not take notice of it, but I just keep it simple on our end, which is what are our areas of need and how can you best address them. We have a really good team. Finished with 99 wins last year. Got banged up with injuries towards the end, so we're going to get a lot of those guys, we think, back. But how can I add to it? And I think the additions of retaining Judge, obviously bringing a new bullpen piece back in Tommy Canley, and then tomorrow, introducing a Rodon as a new addition into the rotation are steps in the right direction to improve our team. So we can only address what our areas of need are. But yeah, you certainly recognize what other teams are doing, including the Mets across town.